have much of a voice left. We've had nonstop since October the 8th. And I want to just make a few remarks to add to the splendid presentation you've heard from my sister and my brother. What we have seen in Boston is truly extraordinary. Boston just elected a new mayor. They claim he's a labor mayor. Claim that he got the edge in this election when the communities of color went over to him. His name is Marty Walsh. Parenthetically, he attacked us as bad as the racist dog that he was running against, so that's Boston politics for you. But the Herald, that's our Murdoch paper. I actually have it in my briefcase. They did a whole big kind of description in graphic design of what was Marty Walsh's biggest challenge right now. He had 5 different things, but right over his chest, it said, "School bus union revolt," as in revolution. Because it wasn't about a contract. It isn't. You know, you all have read very splendid, and it's true. The Workers' World is the official bulletin of Local 8751, and thanks to our wonderful sister Leland, who does all kinds of graphic magic. Not only do we have the paper, but we have double-sided leaflets that have gone out in the thousands all over the bus yards and all over the community. I have to say for a moment, the first 2 articles were written by a splendid journalist. And Hannah, if you're watching this, that's my daughter Hannah. Because we like to say in 8751, if you can't get a decent reporter, grow one of your own. But on a serious basis, it is that the workers have seen Workers' World speaks to our struggle. We always like to say it is written from the picket line. It's written from the trenches. And it's just exuding on everything we do. But I got to tell you, in doing this for 40 years, I was amazed over the last 3.5 weeks. And I think our wonderful, wonderful comrades, I'm going to say something about that, of those Workers' World cadre who came up to Boston, we could not have done it without you. We couldn't. You were our secret weapon. Veolia and the mayor of Boston didn't know, it's true what Monica said, they didn't know what union they were messing with. But even though they put it in both newspapers, said I'm a follower of General Jap and Ho Chi Minh and a follower of Fidel Castro, and in Venezuela, the first bus union official who is now the head of state, Nicolas Maduro. They said that in the papers, but they didn't know what party they were messing with. And so in every city, big and small, there were demonstrations against Veolia. I got to tell you, even those that were of modest numbers meant so much to our workers. It meant so much for them to see all of them. I'm not going to start out the list because anytime you do a list, you let somebody off and you're in big trouble. But they're everywhere we are. And this has shown the bourgeoisie the nature of our fight back. Now, before we left, I got a call from our lawyer, international lawyer, who said that the company has now been telling them they're very, very upset with these protests that are happening all over the country. So I said, Al, we're headed down to New York. And you know what we're going to do at 6 o'clock on Saturday night? We're going to go light up Veolia in Manhattan. And let them know. We mean what we say. And when we have signs that say, stop Veolia's oppression and exploitation from Boston to Palestine, we know that now, and I remember mentioning this at an NC meeting we had recently, you know, our class has been globalized, as Fred has so eloquently put in all these theoretical works. But the bourgeoisie is so globally consolidated now. This French corporation does 2.6 billion transportation trips a day. They run the segregated bus lines in Palestine. They run the landfill on the West Bank. They're responsible for evil all over the globe. And they are now seeing we're ready to take them on. Now, I'm talking to a room full of organizers. Okay? In the last week and a half, we have organized a major shutdown of their operations, 100% on October the 19th. A major demonstration at our hearing on October the 23rd. 350 people occupying Veolia's corporate headquarters. On October the 28th, again, 350 people occupying the place. On Halloween, 350 people. Kiev was dressed as a leopard, so we do have a sense of humor here. And you'll see from some of the pictures, one of the sisters had a convict uniform that says Viola is the real criminal. And we did bring candy for the kids, which was a good idea. And then we had a stupendous day of solidarity on November the 9th. What kind of group of workers can sustain that level of activity? I couldn't hardly even say it, let alone sustain it. Those of us know what it takes to pull out a demonstration of 800 people. I mean, to do it in like 4 days is pretty crazy. And what it said is our workers are on the move. This is workers' power. This is a workers' assembly. This is, if you look at a lot of the pictures, you know, people were saying, they all look so happy. They're dancing, they're jumping up and down. Lenin talked about the festival of the oppressed. And that's when the workers of the oppressed feel their power. They feel that what on every single day we tell the workers. You only came to town and started violating our contracts from July 1st. Every single day, every single week, we were treated like garbage. Nobody ever talked about it. We were nobody. We were invisible with our oppression. On October the 8th, the one day we didn't do what they rely on us to do, we were in every newspaper, every radio station, every TV, and amazingly, we eclipsed the Boston Red Sox when they won a division on the front page of the Herald. Now, they weren't saying nice things. I have 2 minutes. I'll talk with them. They weren't saying nice things, but it was clear that we had taken the city, and we have sustained an incredible level of that activity. I want to say in terms of the struggle, as they see it, you know, 864 people got written warnings just last week. They sent warnings out to our deceased members. Wait, I'm going to say this again. They sent warnings to deceased members' family that said, Rolly Baptiste, he's in trouble for what he did on October the 8th. Now, how cruel, heartless, and mindlessly stupid are these people? But it really demonstrated that they're after the union as a whole. Some have asked, why did they go after the 5? Well, the 5 hold the organizational backbone positions. My brother, Steve Gillis, hardest working guy in all of unionism. And he's one of the 5. The guy pumping his fist over there. He's also the pension administrator, the benefits handler. This union could not function for real without Steve Gillis. So they went after all the organizational positions. But they learned something that was truly heartening to all of us. All those demonstrations of the hundreds I'm talking about, this is not workers fighting for a 10-cent raise. It's not workers fighting for another benefit. It's workers fighting to defend their leaders. That's extraordinary. The consciousness that this struggle was at one with what they needed. And I think it's important for us to say, in terms of the role of the party, you see, we really did have a secret weapon. And it wasn't just those wonderful cadre who came up to Boston, and I'm glad Andre did a little pitch. I'll do more pitching later, but all y'all that have been there, tell everybody how great of a time you had, because we need you all for next week. Because we have a major hearing that the black community has helped us to get, that on Thursday night at 6, we'll have a hearing to find if Veolia was in breach of contract to throw them out of Boston. And in order to do it, we need boots on the ground. Because the solidarity has been incredible. You know, most people think Joe Piet actually is from Boston. We did buy him a Red Sox jacket so that he would blend. I'm sure when he got to Phillies land, where I grew up, he ditched the jacket, but he does have one. It's what I think that they didn't count on is what the party has done, and we need you all to keep doing it. This is a fight, and I don't say this just because it is the union that this party founded. And let's be clear, because you know, what the hell, they all say, newspapers are saying something I said at a conference in 2008, so if you're listening, that's what I said. This party founded this union and stayed with this union, and it was always built on the reliance of the rank and file. It wasn't on politicians, it wasn't on the trade union bureaucracy, it was workers' power. And so on November the 9th, when a lot of the labor movement tried to even stop it, let alone forget about coming out. Now this is the true story. You know, when our international union pulled all the great stuff they were doing, which was not. When all these things happened, the masses came out because why? It's what was said before by Larry and by Monica. This union has been involved in every single community struggle. So the black radio stations have been pumping out our word all the time. So last Wednesday at St. Catherine and Drexel, the Black Educators Alliance of Massachusetts and the Coalition for Equal Quality Education held a standing room only crowd to do a parent night of solidarity with this bus union. And that is a tribute to what we've done. So I do want to end by saying this. This party has been critical to Local 8751. And I couldn't say this without talking about all the wonderful things that the comrades have done and the paper has done and the tremendous help. But I got to say, Milt, if you're listening to this streaming, since I was 19 years old, our comrade Milt Nidenberg, 91 years old, he has been the mentor, the think tank, he has been the tactical guru that we talk to 4 times a day. I said to Rosie, are we straining him? Rosie said, are you kidding? You get off the phone, he's skipping around the house. He feels all, this is what he's been waiting on. Milt Nidenberg is a party national treasure, and we got to keep all those great lessons. This party as a whole has stood with this union. That's why all of our workers here, they know this. We are going to win this battle, and we're going to win this battle because we got the truth and we got the troops. Truth plus troops means you're going to win. And we got the community on our side. We love all y'all. We hope you'll come and visit us in Boston. Good lobster. You got all kinds of good stuff. We take you for Vietnamese food. Eva says she's been not eating up but donuts and Vietnamese food. And I got to tell you, Sister Chantel, who was killing herself that she didn't come down here, but the company threatened her. She stopped going to a charter that she had last week to go to the march. And she was getting ready to get out of a charter to come here. And they threatened serious discipline if she did. But when Sister Chantel gave her speech in November the 9th, she said, let me do this for Eva because Eva's not there. Because Eva, if you look at the movies that was made about us, Film Our Way Films, we should check it out. Right? It starts out with Eva. I'm going to do this wrong. I believe we're going to win. I believe we're going to. I did it all bad. Anyway. Okay, I believe that we will win here. Sorry, I knew I was going to mess it up. But it brought power. It brought enthusiasm. It brought, you know that old Union hymn, hold the fort because we are coming. We knew, hold the fort because workers' world is coming. Build a workers' world. Let me hear you say union! Union! Now we were going to sing a song. I got to call my brother Andre back up because we're going to do a duet on Andre's favorite song. And at the last demonstration, you hear an old Union song, and it's great in a living room. You hear 800 people sing it, and like your hair is standing on end. This is the old 40s Union tune called Roll the Union On. I know you all know it. If you don't, we'll start out with the chorus so you can get it. We're gonna roll, we're gonna roll, we're gonna roll the Union on. Let me hear it. We're gonna roll, we're gonna roll, we're gonna roll the Union on. And if the boss gets in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. Gonna roll right over him. Gonna roll right over him. If the boss gets
gets in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. Gonna roll the Union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the Union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the Union on. And if the mayor gets in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. Gonna roll right over him. Gonna roll right over him. If the mayor gets in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. Gonna roll the Union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the Union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the Union on. And if the scabs get in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. Gonna roll right over them. Gonna roll right over them. If the scabs get in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. Gonna roll the Union on. Last time, we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the Union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the Union on.